Hey, it is E3, and we are here in Nintendo's booth with product specialist Tom Leonard, and he's going to walk us through all the stuff Nintendo is going to be putting out there for the Wii.
Absolutely. Here's a little showcase right here of some of the products we could have coming out and some that obviously will be. Focus on the different colored Wii remotes right there. We haven't finalized any colors yet, but you can certainly expect some variety of colors to come out eventually. We also have the nunchuck style remote. That's what some of the games are using today. Some of the games just use the Wii remote itself. To the right of that, the classic style remote. That way you can play all your classic games with no problems, like with a virtual console. Play them easily with that classic style. And then on the far right side is the zapper style remote. You might remember that concept. That's just a work in progress accessory, so we'll see what happens in the future.
And this Wii sensor bar, what can you tell us about that?
Well, the Wii sensor bar obviously is going to come with the Nintendo Wii when it's released later this year. And it simply attaches, like for example, if your TV is pretty low, you might want it on the top of your TV, like what's in this case right here. Or if your TV is sitting up higher, probably towards the lower portion or right underneath it. There's going to be a booklet that's going to come with the Wii console that'll give you all the details on it and give you tips about how to place it in the best spot.
Okay, our tour of the Nintendo booth continues with a look at Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, which is the new Wii version of Metroid Prime. So tell us all about it, Tom.
This is going to be absolutely amazing game. If you remember from the Nintendo DS version, you got to meet new bounty hunters, and you will actually interact with them in this Wii version of the game. So it's going to be absolutely fantastic. And here we are in the second room of the demo, and here you're going to really see the Wii remote put to full use with the 3D sensing. So right here, Mike is going to be activating the switch, and then he's going to pull his hand back, twist it, and then push it in. That's something you cannot get with a simple tilt action remote.
And so bring us up to speed on what Samus is going to be able to do in this game, because we have high expectations, right?
Oh, I have high expectations myself. We haven't revealed all of the secrets of the Wii version of Metroid Prime 3 Corruption yet, but I'm sure you're going to see it come to fruition. Obviously, with the Wii remote, you can have full 3D control of aiming, which makes everything so precise. I love it.
Nice. Now tell us about some of the new ways, the new spin that you're putting on some of Samus's familiar gadgets, like, say, the grapple beam.
Great question. With the nunchuck style, the device you hold in your left hand with the joystick on it, you're going to lock onto an object, cast forward with your hand like you're casting a fishing reel, and then once it locks on, the grapple beam locks on, then you're going to push down on the joystick and actually pull the device out of the way. For example, there are going to be some enemies that have shields, so you're going to have to use your grapple beam to lock onto the shield and then yank it out of their hands so you can attack them.
Now these appear to be new enemies, and we're getting attacked from different directions now, right?
Oh, you're going to be attacked from everywhere, not just to the side and front and back, but also up above you and down below you. You're really going to have to stay on your toes with this action-packed game. So here we are with the grappling beam that Samus uses. Cast forward and then yank back. Actually, you're not going to be yanking back, you're just going to be pressing down on the joystick to pull this debris out of the way.
What else are we going to be able to do with the morph ball? Because it's been pretty integral part of the series before, right?
Yes, and in Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, we finally got to use the morph ball in some boss battles. You'll see some familiar concepts in this game, obviously done in a whole new way.
And I see that we have visors again, which is always good stuff. So as far as that particular gameplay mechanic goes, it's going to be business as usual with some cool new enhancements, right?
We'll have to wait and see on that.
So it wouldn't be an E3 and a new console for Nintendo if there wasn't a new Mario. And Super Mario Galaxy appears to be that game. So tell us about Mario's new adventure. He's floating in a bubble right now. What's happening?
Well, in this E3 demo version of Super Mario Galaxy, you're going to start off in Bubble. It kind of gives you a brief concept that you are going to be in a galaxy in a good portion of this game, at least in this demo version. So when you first start off, you're going to drop off onto a normal planet, or something that looks pretty normal, grass. Mario's been there, a lot of jumping around. But once you progresses a little bit further, you're actually going to be launched into space, into the galaxy portion. And in those worlds, there are going to be some places where you're right side up, other places where you're upside down or sideways, almost MC Escher-like. It's actually a lot of fun.
So what's the deal with the musical notes? We all know Mario's about the coins.
Good question. Some of those things have not been revealed, like the full storyline, how many worlds are going to be, or anything like that about the game. But this just gives you an idea that you're going to be exploring these worlds in a new way using the new Wii Remote. For example, just switching the Wii Remote back and forth like that, that launches Mario into a new world.
Now, what is the pointer doing right now? Because I see it's also independent of Mario.
Absolutely. For example, what was happening right there is Rick was pointing at the star shards there, the little crystals floating up in the air, and simply by pressing the B button on the bottom of the Wii Remote, that allows you to collect those. You'll also use the pointer device. For example, there's a star right here next to Mario. You switch your Wii pointer back and forth, and that launches him to the next area. You might also use it to slingshot yourself across different chasms and such.
And how are we doing that fist attack?
Instead of swishing the remote on a star or on the grass to find coins, you actually swish Mario himself, and that's going to have him do the spin attack.
Nice. And that would be a rabbit that we're following?
Yes, the rabbit kind of guides you along this demo version to help find the star shards. Now these blue stars right here, they're not exactly sure what they are, but they seem to suck Mario in almost like a little graviton. And you activate those simply by pointing at it and pressing the B button on the Wii Remote.
Okay, I get the Escher reference now.
Yeah, it can definitely get a little odd looking at Mario going sideways while you're sitting obviously straight up.
And so you're saying this is a demo version, so it's not completely representative of what the adventure is going to be like, although is it safe to say that we're going to see Toads in the game? Because I see a bunch.
Yes, you definitely will see Toad in the game, and what I meant by a demo version is that simply this is not the full version of the game.
Okay. And so each one of these little planetoids are going to vary in size, it looks like.
Vary in size, vary in shape, and vary in concept as to what you have to do. For example, there are some planets where it looks like you're walking on a glass surface and the planet is underneath of it in a central core. So you have to try and figure out a way to get into that central core to collect the next star.
Nice. Now, one of the interesting things that I noticed when I was playing this earlier was you use the Wii Remote to stun enemies in a way, like those missiles, for example.
You bet, and it's definitely something you want to try and accomplish throughout the game to save Mario's life right there. He just got smacked by one of Bullet Bill's there. Oh, he got sucked into the core. He is dead.
So, at Nintendo's press conference on Monday, one of the big reactions you guys got out of the crowd was showing off the Wii-enabled Zelda. So, what can you tell us about the Zelda game that we are seeing here?
Great question. Here we have the Wii version of Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. That's where you're going to be using the 3D Wii pointer and also the nunchuck controller to be able to control the game. For example, one of the things we explained at the media briefing was that the Wii pointer has a speaker built into it. So for example, when Link is drawing his bow back, you can actually hear the tautness of the string being pulled back on the speaker in your hand. Then, when you shoot your arrow, you'll hear the feather of the arrow go zooming onto your speaker and then come through on the speakers on your TV. Absolutely amazing.
And so, this is going to be almost a different take on the GameCube game that we know is going to be hitting as well, correct?
Yes, that's actually a really good point. The Nintendo GameCube version and the Nintendo Wii version are both going to be launching on the same day, which is the launch day for the Nintendo Wii console itself. Going to be a huge day in gaming history. I know I'll be up all night.
Now, what can you tell us about the way the visuals have been upgraded for the Wii?
Well, it definitely is going to be upgraded in some noticeable ways on the Nintendo Wii version. And obviously it depends on the kind of TV that you have. With this flat screen, things are going to show up pretty smoothly, very nicely. But the key thing is that you have a new way of controlling the game.
Now, with the whole yin and yang thing going, we've seen Mario, but these days Nintendo wouldn't be Nintendo without Wario. And WarioWare has been one of the surprise hits that you guys have had the past couple years. and it never fails to impress us. And this time, you guys have done something even more crazy on the Wii.
Absolutely. Last night we revealed that Wario is going to be in the new Smash Brothers Brawl game for the Nintendo Wii, but he's also going to have his own title, WarioWare Smooth Moves. Now in this title there's going to be about 200 micro games. If you remember from the Nintendo DS version and the GameCube version, the Game Boy Advance versions, these little micro games just last a couple seconds each. But now you're playing it in full 3D. We just saw him have to squat there, and now he's going to do the hula hoop, swing his hips around. Oh, he looks great, doesn't he?
That's our Jeff.
So with this Wii remote, you're going to be holding it in several different ways, but the game will give you clues as to how to hold it. You might hold it like a dumbbell to lift weights. You might hold it like a pointer like he's doing right now to be able to draw a line around the screen. A variety of different ways.
And obviously this completely spells disaster for multiplayer modes. So is the game going to support any kind of multiplayer?
They haven't gotten into that kind of detail yet. They've just said there's going to be about 200 micro games for this version.
All right. And how many different ways of holding the controller are there?
Holy cow. I mean, there's a whole bunch. There's one where you're holding it like a pointer in your hand. There's another where you're holding it like a waiter, like you're holding a tray. One like a dumbbell, one like a steering wheel. One straight up like an umbrella where you have to swat a fly. Another where you're just holding your hand normally like a remote, maybe flipping some stir fry. So a huge variety of different ways. Really showcases how the Wii remote can be used.
All right, great. It looks insane, and we approve. Thanks, Tom. So one of the cooler games that we're seeing for the Wii is actually a Sonic title. For those of us that are old enough to remember when Sega was in the hardware business, it's still a little weird. But it really is cool to see Sonic back after all these years. And this adventure is especially exciting for some of us because it is the first Sonic adventure in a really long time where it's just Sonic from the looks of it. It's called Sonic Wildfire, and it uses the controller in some pretty unique ways. You actually hold it like this, which I guess for those of you that have been checking out the WarioWare coverage we did is like the chauffeur mode or the handlebars. And basically, as you can see, the lamp on the screen kind of reacts to it. And there's a very particular reason why there's a lamp on screen. Sonic Wildfire is about Sonic trying to get the pages back of the Arabian Nights story. We haven't figured out why, but that's what he's got to do, so fine. So, all right, so the first thing you do is you shake the controller, and boom, here we are. There's a quick explanation on how to control it, which is good for a bunch of you guys that are wondering what the heck to do. So you tilt the controller left or right to move him that way. And then the 2 button is your jump. Quick tap gets you up high. Hold it down, you do a bigger jump. And if you want to move backwards, you tilt it back. And then you have that thing called the wild gauge. You're collecting orbs while you play, which we'll show you in a second. When it's full, you just go like this and you engage it, like right now. Okay, sure. And so here we are in the level. And basically, it's kind of a rail thing. You just have to steer. And it's a little dark right now because he's starting inside this like temple thing. And then here we are. Obviously, the better you are at it, which I'm kind of okay, the faster speed you'll pick up. These are the orbs that you collect. And they're filling up the wild gauge, which you see over there on the right. And there you go. It's a little crazy because it's at a weird angle that kind of like drops you right in the middle of the game and gives you a good sense of speed. And then there's a speed bumper, and then you have to avoid all this stuff that is coming up in your way. You know, one of the coolest things is the sense of speed because it's been such a long time since we had a Sonic game that, you know, didn't have that 3D stuff and where you had to worry about, you know, camera angles and whatnot. The fixed camera angle actually suits Sonic pretty well because, well, geez, all you really care about with a Sonic game in a lot of ways is going really, really, really fast. And we can make that happen right now. And it's a little crazy, but it's got that cool, almost out of control feeling that you have with the Sonic game. Which, you know, it's kind of what we've always wanted in a lot of ways. All right, well, that's it from the Nintendo booth at E3. Come back and look for more soon.